Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to session 3 of computational thinking. I hope all of you had lunch and are ready for the session. Okay, so let's get started. So, till now we have learned how to use statements like assignment statement, input statement, output statement, and selection statement. So, in this session, we'll learn. In this session, okay. So in this session, we'll see how to work with loops. So if you open your Raptor, you can actually see there's one more. Sorry. If you open Raptor, you can see that there's one loop symbol over here, right? So in this session, we'll actually see how to work with loops. So you've also been introduced to some programming principles like comments and using appropriate messages, I mean like input, output and so on, like how to put comments and all. So I hope all of these, the first two sessions were useful and you understood the concepts covered. So by the end of this session, you will be able to write logical and relational expressions for a given problem, and you will also be able to implement loop statements to obtain required output. So these are the objectives of this session. So the basic prerequisite is you should have basic knowledge of Raptor, and also you should know how to use the selection statement, which we covered in section 2. So the selection statement, that is nothing but the if conditions. So now let's consider a scenario. So let's say we have a scenario like this. You are given a positive integer which is less than 1000 and you need to display the digits in that number. So let's say the sample input is 54. You need to say the digits are 4 and 5. So let's see how to do this. So we'll just do this. I mean, like, let's assume that we only have knowledge about selection statements and input and output. So we don't know about loops, how to use loops and all. So we'll just use a selection statement and do this program. So now, the input is nothing but I need to read a number. So I'll need to save first. So I'll read a number. I'll say enter a number and I'll call that number. So I'm reading a number. Now I'll need to output the digits in that number. So what I'll do, I'll just say digits are, and I'm just displaying this first. Now I'll need to output the digits. So what I'll do is, just a second. Okay, sorry for the break. So yeah, coming to the program. Now I've taken the input. Now I'll need to display the digits. So what I'll do is, in Notepad. So there's a small logic behind this, how to do this. I'll just show you that. So let's say given any number, let's say 990, 970, 97. So in Raptor there's a I mean, like, it's simple, like there's a method called floor. Okay, there's a function, it's a function. You might have seen this in the math functions in Raptor. So what this floor does is, let's say I do floor number by 10. So what this equation does is, or this expression, let's say number equal to 97. So what this does is, it first divides the number by 97 by 10. So the operation is nothing but 97 divided by 10, and this, it rounds it off. It rounds it off to the nearest integer. So, and since it's floor, it rounds down. It rounds it down. So 9.7. Actually 97 by 10 is 9.7. But since it's rounding it down, we get 9. Floor rounds it down. So we are getting 9. So this is how you will get the first digit that is there. And to get the second digit, this we already did this, right? REM. REM is another method, another function that is available, which gives a reminder. So we can say reminder number divided by 10. So this will give you the reminder when number is divided by 10. Or else there's one more thing, you can also say number mod 10. So number percentage 10. This actually gives reminder when a number is divided by 10. So it gives when number is divided by 10. So we'll just use this logic and put it in our program. So we'll just see how to display the digits. So I'll just output. I'll say this output is nothing but number percentage 10. So I can put this as blank. So I'll get this. Number mod 10. So this statement, it prints the last digit in that equation or the number. Okay, and the first digit, it's nothing but floor of number by 10. So these two statements should actually display me the digits that are there in that number. So I'll just run my code and see. So I'm pressing Ctrl F5, and now I'll just say enter a number. So I'm entering 54. So digits are 4 and 5. So this is somewhat similar to what I have actually shown here. So sample input is 54, and I'm getting the output as digits are 4, 5. So yeah, so I'm getting this, whatever I was expecting. Okay, now let's say that this number is not a two digit number, but it's actually a 4 digit or a 5 digit number. So how do we do this? So do we again do these, like for each number do we do this? So let's see, let's consider that the number is a 3 digit number. So let's consider that the number is 345 or 543. So now what do we do? So number percentage 10, it actually gives me the last digit, right? So let's again go to my notepad. So let's say my number is 345. So number percentage 10 should give me 5, right? And floor number by 10 should give me what? We are dividing the number by 10, so we should get 34.5. But since it's rounding it down, floor, so I should get 34, right? So but this is not the answer, right? If let's say I'm running this code, I said 345, I'm getting 5 and 34, whereas I should be getting 5, 4 and 3. So what should I do? I should again perform the same operation on this number, on 34, the same operation that I did. So if you can see over here, I'm actually repeating an operation again and again till some condition, right? So till I don't get another digit, I need to repeat this operation. So this is where we actually use a loop. So let's say a simple scenario would be like, let's say you want to print the digits. So we'll just see how to do this using a loop. So I'll just change this. I'll remove this. I'm removing this thing. So now I need to print the digits. So what I'll do is this actually gives me the last digit. So what I'll do, I'll just say, I'll have an assignment statement over here. I'll say number by 10. So whatever was there over there, I mean like the number by 10. So I'm not, instead of displaying that, I'm saying number equal to this. So now my number becomes 34. Okay. Now my number is 34 and now I can again run this same thing, number mod 10. So I'll get 4. So I'll get 5, 4 and then again number becomes 3 and then I'll run this. So let's see what will happen. Let's say I put this in a loop. So I'll put it in a loop and I'll say I'll move this over here. So if you already know about loops and all, or you worked with flowcharts earlier, you can actually notice the difference in Raptor, because in Raptor the loop runs if the condition is false or the condition is no. If the condition is true, the loop exits out of the loop. So the control exits out of the loop. Okay. So now for any loop to work, there should be a condition. The diamond symbol is nothing but a condition. So now what should our condition be? Our condition should be number is less than or equal to 0. We'll run this loop till our number is less than 0, less than or equal to 0. I mean like if you can see over here, now our number becomes 34. We run our loop again, number becomes 3. Again we run our loop, number becomes 0. So we'll just run this and see so that we can understand it better. So I'm saying 345 and I'll say OK. So I'm getting 5, 4 and 3. So I'm printing the digits, all the digits are coming and I'm able to display the digits as well. And my program has exited. So I hope this is clear to all of you, how to run a loop in Raptor. Okay, if anybody has a doubt, please ask. We'll explain it again, else we can continue. Okay. Okay, so I'll just repeat this. Okay, so what? Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll run the whole program in a step-by-step fashion, so that we'll be able to see what's happening exactly. So the program comes over here. So it's asking for a number. So I'll enter 345. The number is 345. Okay. So now it's getting into the loop. It's come into the loop. It's checking if the number is less than or equal to 0. But number is 345. So it's not less than or equal to 0. So it gets into the loop. So what it's doing it is displaying number mod 10. So 345 mod 10 is 5. Right. So it's displaying 5. So digit is 5. So that is being displayed. Okay. So are you facing an issue while inserting the loop? So you want to see like how do we insert a loop? So we just drag and drop this over here. So this is an empty loop. For every loop to work, there should be a condition. So we double click on the loop. Sorry, should exit. So I'll double click on this loop, and over here I'll need to put a condition. So this condition, if we see over here, it's called loop exit condition. So this condition should be true, or the condition should equate to true, so that the loop will exit. So if you can see in our example, what we did is we're checking if number is less than or equal to 0. If number is less than or equal to 0, then only it will come out of the loop. Otherwise it will keep running in this loop forever till this condition is met. So I hope this is this your doubt, like So VR Siddharth, is your doubt cleared? Like while insert, okay, thank you. So I hope this is clear. So we'll just remove this. So this is our program. So we are saving this program, and we can see like basic examples how to do this. So maybe we'll just do one example, and so that we can understand it better. So I hope all of you have understood how to use loops in Raptor. So we'll just go and do some basic programs. Before that, is this slide okay? I mean, like, are you able to see this slide? Can you see some numbers 1, 2, C, 3 and 4? All of you? So I can increase the font size. Okay, perfect. So if you can see, there's a graph or Raptor flow chart which has some statements. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 are some statements, something similar to the program that we did just now. So if you can see this loop, for this loop to run, the condition is that C should be true. If C is true, the loop will exit and come to 4. Okay, so let's say C is not true. So I'll take an example and explain this better. So I'll share my desktop. I'm going to Raptor. I'm creating a new example. So I'll just put only 4 statements. One is I'm assigning, let's say I'm assigning I to 10, and I have a selection statement over here. So this is the loop. I have one more statement over here. So here I say I equal to I. So I'm just I'm displaying I over here, saying I. Okay, I'm displaying I over here, and I need to have one more statement. I is 10. Again assigning I is equal to 10. This is an example, so I'm just showing how what are the common mistakes that people make while running loops. Set I to 20. So let's say I'm taking some basic very simple examples. So in the condition, what I'll say is I greater than 20. So let's say this is my condition. So now what should happen is, first I'll run this code. We'll see what's happening. So I'll run this. So it's checking if I is. So if you can see over here, what's happening is it's setting I to 10, then it's printing I. It's checking if I is greater than 20. I is 10, so it's I is not greater than 20. So it's getting into the loop. It's again setting I is equal to 10, and again it's printing. So if you can see over here, this loop will never break, or it will not exit of this loop, because this condition will never be true over here. If you see, I will never be less than 20, right? I is always less than 20. It will never be greater than 20. So these are common mistakes that people make. One common mistake is checking if your condition exits or not. If it doesn't exit, then your loop will run in an infinite loop. So this is an infinite loop. So we'll need to change this statement. So what we'll do is I equal to, I'll say I equal to I plus 1. Okay, I'm saving this example. 3. Okay, so now let's see what will happen. So it's going, it's running, it's printing, it's printing, it's printing. It will go on like it's printing. So if you can see, I value is increasing every time. I value is changing over here. So you can see. So once I is 20, just see. So it's coming out of the loop. So if you can see, it's printed all 21 numbers, 10 to 21, and it has exited. So you can see over here, I'll just increase the size. So it's printed till 21 and it has come out of the loop. Okay. So this is one way wherein you can actually check out or come out of the loop. So if you can notice, anytime you have a loop, So coming back to our slide, any loop, let's say this is a program that you've written, any time statement 1 and statement 2 will be executed. No matter if your loop runs into is an infinite loop or a finite loop, every time statement 1 and statement 2 are executed. Only if your loop is I mean, like, say condition is not met, then if the condition is met or the condition is true, statement 4 will be executed. Let's take a scenario where statement 3 is not met. Only 1 and 2 are done and the loop exits. So let's take that scenario as well. So coming back to our just okay. So let's take this scenario where I is greater than 20. So what we'll do is, let's say I equal to 10. So what I'm doing is I'm just checking if I is 10. If it is I is 10, it comes out. So let's see whether statement 3 or this statement gets executed. So 1, 2, 3, and it's coming out. So you can you've seen that at some point of time, or in some cases, statement 3 or this statement also doesn't get executed. So any program in any loop, this statement and this statement will be executed no matter what. In special cases, 3 and 4 will also be executed. So depending on your loop, your condition statement and all. So these are the simple mistakes small mistakes that people make. So always check if your condition or your exit condition is equating to true, so that your loop will exit. Okay, please keep that in mind when you are writing. So coming back. So always you should also see if you're having an increment or a decrement operator, so that your condition is true. Okay, so just showing this. So this is an increment operator. We are incrementing the value of I every time we are running this loop. So you need to check if we have an increment or a decrement operator. Decrement operator will work when, let's say, the condition over here says I less than 10 or I less than 5. Okay, so over here I'll need to say I equal to I minus 1, or else let's say I have I plus 1, and let's see what's happening. So if you can observe over here, this condition, this program will also be a infinite loop, because I value is always increasing, whereas we are checking if I is less than 4, so which I will never be. So if you can see the flaw in this program, we should, instead of plus, this should be minus, I minus 1. So now if you run this program, it will run and it will exit. So because you can see over here, I value is decreasing or decrementing. It's called a decrement statement over here. So yeah, it should exit now because I value is 3. So now printing values from 10 to 3. So these are the basic things that you'll need to keep in mind. So now let's look at another example. So we'll now need to find the factorial of a given number. So I hope all of you are familiar with what factorial of a number is. Factorial of n is n factorial, which is the product of n till 1. And always n should be a positive number or an integer, positive integer. And it's also given that 1 factorial is 1 and 0 factorial is 1. So we'll just go ahead with this program and see how to do this. So I'll also have all the conditions and all. So we'll do a Pakka program now. Till now I didn't use these comments and all. So we'll do a Pakka program now. So what we'll do is I'll take an input from the user. So I'll say enter positive integer. Over here I am taking an input. I am saying number. This is called number. And now I'll need to, so the first thing I need to do is I need to check if it's a number or not. I'll need to check if is. So you can see over here there are some, whenever we type something we get these, right? You can actually check, double click this and you will get this. So is number. I'm just checking if the value that is entered is a number or not. If it is a number, then what we'll need to do, we also need to check if the number is a integer or not. Let's say I enter some 9.5. This will say, okay, this is a number, and the loop it is true or s. Now because I need to check if it's integer or not. So what I'll do is, we learned this in our previous example, right? We have this function floor. So floor number divided by 10. So I'm just doing this, just something very simple. So floor number by 10. So just to check if this number is an integer or not, is equal to number. So what this does is, it checks if the number is divided by 10 and if both are same. So floor number by, I'm sorry, and do one thing. Okay, this doesn't give me that. I'll say if floor number by 10 minus number equal to 0. So what I'm doing is, I'm just dividing the number by 10. So this gives me an integer value, floor number by 10. It gives me an integer value, and this number, it actually, I'm really sorry. This is only floor number. So floor number minus number. So what this does is, it actually rounds it off to the nearest integer. So let's say I entered 9.7. So this will give me 9, whereas number is 9.7. So I'm just checking if both are equal or not. So I'm subtracting these two. So if both are in integer value, I'll get 0. If it's a decimal value, I'll get a value that is negative. That's not 0. So I'm done. If it is true, yes, then I'll get into the loop. In this loop, okay, I need to save. So here I understand that, okay, I'm really sorry, I am started my desktop sharing. Okay, sorry. Okay, so coming back to our program, I'm really sorry, I forgot to share my desktop. So I hope all of you are able to see my desktop now. So are you able to see this Raptor program? This Raptor program? If yes, please type S. Okay, okay, okay. So VNR is able to view, VR is able to view. Aryabhatta, are you able to view? Bapatla? Yes, okay, wonderful. Aryabhatta? Okay, okay, wonderful. Okay, okay, I'll again do this program. I'm really sorry, I forgot to share my desktop. Okay. So what I did till now is, I just taken a positive integer because I'll need to read the input from the user, and now I'm just checking if the entered number is a number. So whether it's a number or not. If it is a number, I'm just checking if it's an integer or not. So to check if it's an integer or not, we've just seen that floor number will actually round it off to the round down to the integer. So floor number minus number should be 0 if it's a integer. So once we understand, okay, the user has entered a positive integer, then we'll just see if now we'll actually need to do the factorial part. So we'll do these assignments now. So what we'll do is, so now let's assume that the user has entered some number, say 20, or let's take a small number. User has entered 5. So what we should be doing now is, the output should be 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So just now I've done one program, right? If you remember, I've done this decrement of the loop. So what I'll do is, I'll use the same logic. So I'll just put one here. So what I'll do is, I'll say factorial equal to factorial into number. So before I do this, I'll need to assign factorial a value. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll set factorial equal to 1 because we are doing product of numbers. So it's always good practice to say factorial equal to 1. So now I am saying factorial equal to factorial into number. And what should my condition be? Till number is equal to 1 or till number is less than 1. So what I will say is number less than 1. So I am just checking if number is less than 1 till number is less than 1. So that it will decrement the loop 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. So now what I will do is I will need to decrement number. So number equal to number minus 1. So this should actually display me, find out the factorial of the number. So now what I'll need to do is I'll need to display the factorial. So what I'll do is I'll just say, I'll display that. So the factorial of number. So over here what I'm doing is I'm displaying the number as well. Number is fact. So what this program will do is it says factorial of 5 is 120 or whatever. So we'll just run this program and see what's going to happen. So I'm entering a positive integer 5. So over here if you can see, I'm getting factorial of number is 0. So why is this happening? So let's see. We'll run this step by step and see what's happening exactly. So saying enter a positive integer. So I'll enter 5 and see, go ahead, OK. So we're getting factorial equal to 20. But what is happening? Did you see? Did you notice? Over here, did you see that number is becoming number minus 1? So what's happening? Its number is going again, the value of number is becoming 0. So if you see, I've mentioned about condition statements, right? The condition should equate to something that is equal to true. So what did I say? In my notepad, what did I say? I said the number should be equal to 1. But I actually put number is less than 1. So this is a example of how we normally, the logic and all is correct, but because of a condition statement, we are getting a wrong output. So this is an example to show how a condition statement should be correct. So till number is equal to 1, because we are just checking if number is till 1. If you go here, sorry. So till number is equal to 1, we need to check our condition and then break the loop. So now this should work. So I hope the example was clear, right? So were you able to understand why we got a wrong output? Because the loop was running till number equal to 0, and over here it's multiplying. So factorial is becoming factorial into 0. So 120 into 0 is 0. So that's how we are getting this wrong output. So now let's run this code and say 5. And now we should be getting the factorial of number 1 is 120. So now there's another issue. What is happening? The value of number is actually being reduced, right? So actually the output should be the factorial of number 5 is 120. Whereas over here if you can see, it's coming the factorial of number 1 is 120. So this is another example of where we are actually reducing the number, because we have taken the input in number and we are reducing that number. We are decrementing number. So what we should be doing over here is we should have another statement which says this should be a temporary variable, say temp, and we are setting that to number. So we are storing number, the original value of number, into a temporary variable, say temp. And now over here what we should be doing is either do this so that we can get the value correctly. So if you run this again, we can see now, let's say 5. So this is what we are actually expecting. The factorial of number 5 is 120. So this should be correct. This is the desired output. So all these are our logic is right, everything is good, but we are making mistakes in displaying while displaying. So all these are things that we actually look like when we are doing your tasks, evaluation, and also all these are small things. So you might, I mean, like you might lose marks over here, or else I mean, like when you are working in a industry or in a software company, this is where you'll actually lose clients because okay, these people they didn't get the requirements right. People might, I mean, like your clients might think. So I mean, like this is where I mean, like all your code should be really good, your output, everything should be good. So I didn't put comments over here, so I'll need to put comments. So I won't be putting them now because we are very stringent. I mean, like we have paucity of time, and my session is okay. I have another half an hour. So okay, I hope this example is clear to everybody. You are able to now display the factorial of n. And okay, now let's do one thing. We'll just check if our program runs if I enter a non-integer value. So let's say I enter some value, say 8.9. Let's see what whether this will work or not. So my loops are my conditions are correct. So my program is exiting. So there should be some good output, right? So what we'll do is we'll just put one output. We'll say we'll design a message. The input should be a positive integer. Okay. So now let's say if the user doesn't enter a number itself. So what we'll do is we'll just say over here the input should be a number, positive number. So both are same, like it should be a positive number. Sorry, it should be a positive integer. Also I'll say should be a number over here, just to give us an idea. Okay, this is not a number, the user has entered some string or so all these. So this is one way of actually doing this. I mean, like don't think that whatever I'm telling this logic is the optimum logic or the best logic. This is one way of solving this problem. There might be other ways, and we want you to explore them and let us know. Like if you have come up with something more optimum, please let us know so that we can incorporate that in the future sessions. So now we are moving on to the second example. This is a pretty simple example. We want to display the multiplication table up to 10 given a number n. So the output should be, let's say I enter a number input as 5. So the output should be 1 into 1 equal to 1 and so on till 5 into 10 equal to 50. So over here what we should be doing is we can't run this program using a single loop. Okay. Over here what the idea is to introduce you to double loops or nested loops, if you say. In the previous session you've seen nested conditions, right? Nested selection statements. So over here we'll also show you how nested loops work. So a loop within a loop. So we'll show you that. So I hope I've shared my desktop. So yeah, okay. So yeah. So what we'll do is we'll just take an it will be a very simple example. So so putting a loop within a loop is very straightforward. We just need to drag and drop it again over here. So this is how we actually put two loops, loop within a loop. So you see two loops, and this is the innermost loop and this is the outer loop. Okay. So now we'll need to read an input from the user. So what I'll do is I'll ask the user to enter a number and enter a number. So I'll read this number, else I'll call this as range because I need to do the multiplication table till this number. So I'll call this number range, and now what I'll do is I'll go with the outer loop. The outer loop, if you can observe in this slide, it's always running till 10. I'm sorry, the inner loop, because this is what should be repeating, right? 1 into 1 equal to 1 and so on till 1 into 10 equal to 10. And once this is done, 1 will change to 2. Let's say my input is n is 5, so 1 should change to 2. So if you can see the well, like some, if you can say, you can see this, if you can, okay, I'll do one thing, I'll in notepad. So our output should be like this, 1 into 1 equal to 1, and so on. I mean, like, and so on, like this, and so on till 1 into 10 equal to 10. And after once we do this, now our we should say 2 into 1 equal to 2, and so on till 2 into 10 equal to 20, and this should continue till our range. Let's say our range is 5, so I'll say 5 into 10 equal to 50. So this should be our output. So we should be getting this. So if you can see, there's a sequence, right? It's repeating, this is repeating till 10, after which 1 is incremented to 2, and again it's repeated till 10, again 2 is incremented till 3, and till we get 5. So if you can see the sequence, there's one loop that is running till 10, there's another loop that is running till 5, 1 to 5. So that's how we actually use 2 loops. And now let's go to the program. So now let's say this is the inner loop. Okay, this inner loop is nothing but this 1 to 10. Okay, this inner loop, if you observe, it is running every time the outer loop is there. Like as long as the outer loop is there, this inner loop runs. So this is where you actually do this. Whatever whatever statements or output you need to display every time, that goes into the inner loop, and whatever statements that you are incrementing after this inner loop is done, that goes into the outer loop. So now what we should be doing over here is, I just need to see if I'll say counter less than 10. Counter is equal to 10. So I'm just checking till, okay. Okay, so this is the counter. So till counter is 10. Okay, so now what I should be doing, I should be incrementing counter, right? I'll say counter equal to counter plus 1. So I'm incrementing counter, but before the inner loop runs, what I should be doing is, I should be initializing the value of counter. So if you observe, in this notepad, every time the inner loop runs, the counter's value is 1, right? So if you go back to the program, what I should be doing is, I should say counter equal to 1. So every time the inner loop runs, my counter value should be set to 1. Okay, and over here I'll be displaying the output. So what should my output be? My output should be my output should be like this. Whatever value is there in the outer loop, that into counter equal to the multiplication product. Okay, so for this to work, I'll need to have some variable in the loop, in the outer loop. So what I'll do is, I'll assign a value. I'll say outer counter. I'll say outer counter equal to 1, because we are starting with 1 into 1 and all. So I'll say outer counter is 1, and my loop condition, the outer loop condition should be that outer counter should be equal to number. And what did I give over here? This is range. Okay, so my outer counter value should be less than, till this is equal to range. Okay, so now this I have my conditions set. So now what I'll do is, I'll just display this. So what I'll do is, I'll say outer counter plus into, so I'm just displaying what is there in the notepad, plus counter plus equal to, okay, if you notice over here, the plus over here doesn't add it's actually used to concatenate strings. So it just adds, I mean like it's adding the strings. So whatever value outer counter has, that will be displayed over here with into the count value of counter equal to, over here what we'll need to do is we'll need to display the product. So over here it is nothing but outer counter into counter. So just make this increase. So this should be my output that should be displayed. So I hope this is clear. So what this does is it just checks if outer counter into counter equal to the product. So this is there. Now if you notice, okay, now if you notice, I will actually need to increment the value of outer counter so that it becomes it is equal to range. So I'll just put an assignment statement over here and I'll say outer counter equal to outer counter plus 1. So I'm just incrementing the value of outer counter so that I can get this. Once all the one table is printed till 10, we are going to 2. Once this is done, we are incrementing it to 3. So like this. So hopefully this should run our program. So we'll just test this. So I'm giving a small value of n. I'll say 3. N is 3, and see what will happen. So if you can see in the master console, our program is working fine. We are getting like 1 into 1 equal to 1, 1 into 2 equal to, till 1 into 10 equal to 10, and after which it is incrementing the value of outer counter to 2, and then it runs till 10, and then it's till 3. So this is the output of a program, and it's working fine. So I hope this is clear how to run loop within a loop. So how to have nested loops. So we'll just so this is clear, right? Okay, okay. So we have some time for workout for you. So I hope all of you have built enough muscle till now, working on workouts in the morning. So let's look at some more examples. Okay. So this is a example that we have already done. Given a number n, display the digits in n. So why don't you work this out? We have actually so I think already this is done as an example. So we'll go to the next workout. Why don't you work out this task? So this one. So you'll have 20 minutes. So this is 15. You take 20 minutes to do this task. If you have any doubt, please ask us. So it is nothing but to find the series. It's a series, and you'll need to find the sum of the series. So let's say you take a sample input x as 2 and n as 3. The output should be this. There's no need for you to print this. There's no need for you to print 1 plus 2 power 1, 2 power 2 and all. You just need to print 15. So this is a test case for you to run and check if your program is working fine. And you should also check for the other test cases, like the input should be non-negative and it should be an integer. So please do all these checks, and then we'll be here. You please work out for the next 20 minutes, and you have any doubts, you please let us know. So the time in our system is now 2:50. We'll again start the session in 20 minutes, say 3:10. Ma'am, we'll put up all the programs on the portal so you can actually see them. We are not putting them up now because again, okay, I'll do one thing. I'll share the desktop. You can actually see that in a separate window. So because I'm not putting it now because people are working out this, so they might lose that this slide. So I've shared the desktop. You can actually see it. You can see it in a different window. It's called desktop viewer. You can see that in a separate window. But for now, this slide will be there. And we'll be putting up all these examples on the portal. I mean, like whatever examples that we are doing over here, we'll put them up on the portal. And our expectation is that you'll work out these problems after this workshop and submit them by Thursday. That is this October 4th. We'll have upload links there available. So you'll need to follow some naming convention that is there, that is specified in the portal, and you'll need to submit these tasks. I hope everybody is okay with doing these tasks after the workshop and submitting them. Our basic idea was to have you do these tasks during the workshop, but what we're observing is like workshop sessions are not running as per schedule. So we are we are like forced to do these after the workshop only. I hope Bapatla College you have created IDs on portal uh, and you have Raptor installed on your systems. People who have done this, you can work out the next problem. You can work this out if you have already done that. Hope all of you are able to do that problem. If you have any issues, please let us know. Uh, if you are done with workout 2, we can do workout 3. Also, it would be great if each college sends us the list of people who are there in that session. So you can just type in the names of the people. I mean, like comma separated. So let's say there are 3 people in the in your college undergoing this training now. Just type in A comma B comma C. Assuming A, B, C are their names. So just to get us give us an idea of how many people are undergoing this. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. VNR, I need the names. ABCD was just an example. So, Kaushar ma'am, are you the only one from VNR or we have somebody else? Okay, 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 ma'am. High tech only 2 people from your college? Okay. What about Bapatla? Bapatla, are you able to hear? Okay, okay. Thanks a lot for sharing the names. So if you are done with the workouts, we can proceed with the second the next session for today for the afternoon. So it will be taken by Miss Kamudi. So if you are done with this workout, we can proceed to the next session. If you have any issue, if you have any questions, we have a question answer session for 5 minutes. So if you have any questions, please ask. If there are no questions, we can take a break for 15 minutes, 5 minutes, and we'll again reassemble at say 3:20. Now it's 3:10, so we can meet in at 3:20. Okay, thank you. Let's assemble at 3:20 then, 3:20 p.m. So we'll continue the session after 15 minutes. So if you want, you can take a break. Also, if you want, you can work out the problems. So any which way. But the next session will start at 3:20 sharp.